Open your MTT and title it Parallel and Perpendicular Lines and Their Slopes. When we're talking about parallel lines have the same or matching slopes. So if I'm looking at these two equations, I can tell right away that these two equations are parallel simply by looking at their slopes. They're the same, so they're parallel. So we're going to use that information to find some equations of the line. So we're looking for an equation of the line that is parallel to this equation and passes through this point. So we're going to do y is equal to mx plus b. So m equals and b equals. We know that the lines that are parallel have the same slope. So this slope is 2, which means my slope is going to be 2. Now all I need to do is find b. This is my x, this is my y. Y is equal to mx plus b. Negative 1 is equal to, my slope is 2. My x is 2 plus b. Negative 1 is equal to 4 plus b. b plus 4 is equal to negative 1. 0 pair out, so I have b is equal to negative 5. So my answer is going to be y is equal to 2x minus 5. If I look at the equation that was given to me, y equals 2x plus 2, I notice that the slopes match. That means the lines are parallel, so I must have the correct answer. Notice that the y-intercepts are different. Slopes match. Let's do another one. So we're going to do y is equal to mx plus b. M equals, b equals. If my equation has to be parallel to this equation, then my slope has to match this slope. So I just found my slope. Pretty easy. Now I'm going to find my b. So I'm going to do y is equal to mx plus b. My y is 2, my x is negative 1. So 2 is equal to 1/2 times negative 1 plus b. 2 is equal to negative 1/2 plus b. I'm going to do b plus negative 1/2 is equal to 2. I'm going to go ahead and 0 pair the half out. Okay, and so this is going to be b is equal to, this of course is 4 halves, so I'm going to add that together and that gives me 5 halves. So my equation is going to be y is equal to 1/2 x plus 5 halves. Let me make that 2 a little bit easier to see. Now I'm going to look at my original equation. Y equals 1/2 x minus 4. I double check to make sure that my slopes match. They do. So that means my lines are parallel. Now we're going to talk about perpendicular slopes. Perpendicular slopes are opposite reciprocals, also known as flippy-flippy. So we're going to practice doing the flippy-flippy. The perpendicular symbol that you're going to see in high school looks like this. So you'll notice that I have my perpendicular symbol right here. Perpendicular lines. So if the equation has a slope of 3/2, and I have to give you an equation that is perpendicular, I'm going to flip it over 2/3, and then I'm going to flip the positive to a negative. I'm going to do the opposite reciprocal for the next one, or flippy-flippy. I'm going to flip it over to 5/3, and it's going to be positive since the first one was negative. Now I have 4/1. I'm going to flip it to 1/4. The first slope was positive, so the second slope is going to be negative. And the last slope is negative 1/8, so I'm going to flip it 8/1 and leave it positive. All of these slopes would be slopes of perpendicular lines. So now let's use what we know. We're going to start out with y is equal to mx plus b. We're trying to find the equation of the line that is perpendicular to this equation. So we need to look at the slope. This slope is 4 over 1, and we know that the slope of a perpendicular line would be flippy-flippy, or the opposite reciprocal. So we're going to flip it over, 1 over 4, and the slope was 4x, which is positive, so we're going to make it negative 1/4. So now I have my slope. Now all I need to do is find my b. So I'm going to take my x and my y, and I'm going to find b. So y is equal to mx plus b. My y is 1. My slope is negative 1/4, and my x is 1 plus b. So it's 1 is equal to negative 1/4 plus b. b plus negative 1/4 is equal to 1. I used symmetrical and commutative at the same time. I added the 1/4 on both sides to 0 pair out. This, of course, is 4 over 4. So we're going to have b is equal to 5/4. So now we're going to write our equation. Y is equal to negative 1/4 x plus 5/4. We're going to take a look at our original equation, which is 4x plus 6. We notice that negative 1/4 is the opposite sign of 4, positive, and it's also the reciprocal. 1/4 is reciprocal of 4. So that tells me that these two lines are perpendicular. So my answer is y equals negative 1/4 plus 3/4, or plus 5/4. Last one that we're going to try. Again, we're going to make this equation needs to be perpendicular. So we're going to do y is equal to mx plus b. We're looking for our slope. The slope is 1 over 1. So we're going to flip it. That's 1 over 1. The slope here is positive, so we're going to make this one negative, and now we need to find b. So we're going to do y is equal to mx plus b. Our x is negative 2, and our y is 0. So 0 is equal to negative 1 over 1 times negative 2 plus b. 0 is equal to 2 plus b. b plus 2 is equal to 0. 0 pair out, and b is equal to negative 2. So our equation is going to be y is equal to negative x minus 2. We look at our original equation, y is equal to x minus 6, and we notice that our slopes are flippy-flippy, or opposite reciprocals, which means that those two lines are perpendicular.